Hello, I'm Karen and I own the Cake Tower, and today I'm going to be showing you how I make my standing bride and groom. I've got about 100 grams of my white modelling icing, and if you'd like to see how to make your own modelling icing, I actually do have some other videos on that. And other than that, there's not really much I can say about this one, except this one is all done by hand. And I don't use any sticks or wires in any of my work because I like my work to be child friendly. And as you can see here, I'm trying to form the waist of my bride's dress here. I build my toppers over several days because of not using the wires, so I have my drying process, and there we can see that we're getting the indent for the waist. This is just a very simplistic dress, so it comes straight to the floor, so we haven't got to worry about making it any feet or anything. And now I'm just pinching and pulling down now to extend the distance from here to here, because I would like them to be in proportion. And here I'm just rolling it just to, I found that I failed that the dress was coming out quite far, so I want it to be a good height. Toppers tend to be maybe between 4 and 6 inches tall is a good height to stand on the top of the cake. I do get asked to make smaller ones, but I'm just concentrating more on making her a nice waist. So that's looking like a nice shape for a dress, just for the base of the dress. I'm just going to just pinch out the bottom bit just to make that a little bit more neater, just to give it a nicer finish. But I will be adding on to this dress, so this is just the basic underneath part of the dress. It can actually be left as it is. Right, so because I've got a little crease in my work here, it's only small, but I'm actually going to have a back piece on the dress. So this is going to be the back of the dress, and this is going to be the front here. So I'm going to indent with my finger there. I'm just rubbing the icing because we would like her to have some nice I don't know, do we call them boobies? Or a nice chest area. Sometimes it's very strange when you're modelling sometimes, the things you get asked to make. Excuse me. I'm just using my ball tool now just to indent the top area, because I would like to be able to add in some flesh for her neck and the front of the chest. You have a lot of brides have strapless wedding dresses, so this is going to be a strapless dress. I'm trying to make sure that it's not too sticking out at the back, so you don't look like they've got a hunchback, because people don't really want you to look like that unless they actually do look like that and you've been asked to make that, and then you model your work accordingly. But that basically is looking like a nice dress for my bride. She's actually looking like sorry, I've still got a tickle. You know, I don't know whether I've just got something that, maybe I ate something that doesn't agree with me properly, that keeps making me get a tickle. I really don't know. There, she's looking more balanced there. Then I'm going to get my little knife tool, and I'm just going to put a little cut right in the centre of her dress there. I don't know if you can see that very well. And I'm just going to use my ball tool just to lift, slightly lift this area so that it's going to sit nicely across her chest. There, I'm just going to put a bit more cornflour on my hands because I'm constantly holding this, I can feel it's starting to get sticky, so I'll just smooth out any of my fingerprints that have come on the dress while I've been working on it. There, and so we can see that we've got our basic shape of our dress, and so far she's maybe about 4 inches tall. I think I'll make her waist a little bit more thinner. There. And there we have it. She stands nicely, she's evenly balanced. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to get some of my flesh and give that a knead. Actually, it looks almost white next to that, but that's just the light that's there. Right, I'm going to put a little bit more cornflour there because all my icing feels a bit sticky. Maybe it's just because I'm very warm, I've got the central heating on. It's quite frosty this morning. Right, so I've got a ball there, oops, Daisy. I've got a ball there which is like a small Malteser size. Or actually, do you know those Revel sweets? Oh, it's like one of those where you want it to be the orange one. And it's not, it's really the coffee. Anyway, I'm starting off with that size. I may actually have to reduce it, so we'll see. What I do is I make yeah, she's definitely going to be, so I'm going to about half that size. So now we're down to a processed pea size, and I'm just rolling one end just to make that come out, because that's going to be her neck, and the other bit is going to be the chest area. I'm just pinching this out a little bit so that it fits into the area that I've already created. Like so. That still looks overly long to me, so I'm actually going to take a little bit more off. It's all trial and error when you're making bespoke things. There's no set rules to anything, really. So there we go. So I have my ball. I'm pressing down on one side to roll it to bring out that area for her neck. And try again, pinch around just to bring that area out, and we'll try that on her there and have a look. That's looking much better. So because I'm happy with that, I'm going to get a little bit of my boiled water. I rub most of it off onto the back of my hand. I don't want lots and lots of water, because all that will happen is it will just make it all slippy. And then we're just going to stick that into place like that. So we've got the neck area there and the front of the chest, just a little bit showing, not too much. And I'm going to get a little bit more, I'm just going to put her out of the way, a little bit more of my flesh icing. Notice there's a little bit of something there that we don't want. There we go. So this one is the same sort of size. Processed pea, or that's a large processed pea. You'll roll that into a nice ball. And that one's slightly bigger, so I'm going to take a bit off that. There. And then I'm just going to check this for size, because I still might be wrong on this. When, say, each individual bride, depending on how they're forming, depends. So what I wanted to do is I want her hand to come across there, because she's going to be holding a bouquet, and I want this to be a shoulder. So that's looking roughly the right size. So I'm going to roll the other piece so that we start off with 2 sausages that are approximately the same size. Okay? And then right near the end, I'm just going to push in and roll this way round. This is forming her wrist. I only do simplistic hands on this scale because I find it hard to make the hands look nice and neat, and I'd much rather have a simplistic hand that looks nice rather than some kind of weirdo hand. So again, I'm going to do the same with the other one. I'm just pushing in slightly, just to rock in there, and then I'm just pinching that down just to bring that out so that, I don't know if you can see that shape properly. Is that better? Sort of, it's actually a little bit like a flat spoon shape. But anyway, so we now have that. So now we've got the hand, and this is going to be the shoulder. So about halfway from the wrist area to the shoulder area, I'm just going to put, whoa, I'm just going to put a little line there. Let me see that line. Okay, and this is for when I bend it, just to help give it, because when everybody bends their arm, they all actually have a natural crease there. So little things like that I find are a more appealing detail. So I'm going to do the same on this one. It's a little dent, nothing much, and then we can fold the arm, or bend the arm, and then I'll get some more of my boiled water. I want some boiled water here, because this is where her shoulders are going to be, and I also want her hands to be here where she would be holding her bouquet. So I'm going to put the arm on. If I hold this up to show you, maybe it'll be easy for you to see what I'm doing. There. And I'm just going to put that on there. I always find it easier to do my work while it's standing, and put that there. You might well hear my letterbox go in a minute. I can just see the free paper's been delivered. Thank you very much for my free paper. I like the free paper. Find out what's going off locally. There. So I think she's looking lovely, and currently this is where she's going to stop. I'm fibbing. Actually, while we're still here, we can just put in the back of the dress, we can just do a V into the dress there. Well, can we see that? And then I'm just going to go across this way, and then in the opposite direction, just to give that illusion of, can we see that? Of like a corset style at the back. And that is where she's going to stay today. I've been asked to do a stocky bride, so that's the bride. And then what I'm going to do, I've lost that back, put that I'm going to get the grey because the groom is wearing a grey suit. So all we're going to do today is just make the trousers. We don't need to do anything else because I want the trousers to dry so that I want them proper solid, so that then when I start to build up higher up, we've got a nice firm foundation to help him stand up nice and straight. So I've got our grey, because according to my description, my groom is wearing a grey suit. So I'm just kneading this a bit more because I've noticed that it's not quite mixed the black and the white together properly to make the grey, and I don't want it to have a suit for a groom with all streaks down it, because he wouldn't be happy with that. I wouldn't be happy with that. That's the thing. What I aim for is what I would be happy for. Right, take a little bit more off there. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to roll 2 balls the same sort of size, so that we've got a beginning point, and I will show you in a minute of the size wise next to my bride, because this is how I always do it. I do the bride first. I've been told that they're both the same sort of height, which is nice. So I have 2 balls, roughly the same size. Put that out of the way a minute. Keep my icing wrapped up so that it doesn't dry out, because I don't want to have to throw it away. So for this one, we've got the ball, and then we're going to make a nice sausage, but we're going to have it fatter at one end than the other. Now I could be wrong on this one and have to redo this leg, but I'm just going to have a rough go. So we've got our sausage, and we bring back the bride. Now we want his legs to be approximately up to her waist. Now that is obviously far too big. So I'm going to snap this much off, roll my leg back into the ball, there, and see the difference. So I want to take off the same sort of amount from the other ball. Oops. And there we go. Roughly the same size. So I'm going to do the same again. I've got a crease in there. I want a bit more cornflour on my hands. They're very warm. Right, so I'm going to roll it into the sausage again. And try again and see what sort of size that looks like next to my bride. Still quite tall, to be fair, but he is stocky build. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pinch out the bottom of the trousers. I'm just going to stand and have a look with them. No, I'm still not happy. Still not happy. These was far too big in the beginning, but that's okay. Everything is about practicing, and I've been doing this for years and I still can't get it right the first time every time. So it's always like this with every single bride and groom that I make. There's no set measurements of, oh, it should be this amount of icing and that amount of icing, because every single bride and groom is completely individual. So I suppose if you was going to make the same thing over and over again, then you'd get the same sort of, you'd have measurements, but I don't. I love the variety and the mixtures of colours that people like to ask for. And this is one of my favourite ones to do as well, because this is Cadbury purple. So, yeah, that's my letterbox again. That's a post lady this time. Wonder what she's brought me today. Something nice, I hope. So, it's looking much a better size now. Slightly higher than a waist, the leg is, but by the time he's got his jacket and everything on, he will be the right sort of size. So now I just want to make sure that this leg is the same. And also, in the worst case scenario, if you actually make them and you feel that your bride at the end of everything looks a little bit small, there is techniques to be able to make her slightly taller. Right, so I'm making my legs so that they're roughly the same sort of size. Just rolling out a little bit more. There. And then what I'm going to do is at the back of his legs, about halfway, I'm just going to put some little indents in, just to see that that's the back of the trousers. So he's got a nice little crease. And stand that there. And the same on the other one. Just little creases there. And then make sure I get most of the boiled water off. I'm just going to rub boiled water down one side, and I'm actually smoothing this in so it's going tacky, because I want these to stick together nicely. So I'm just going to put them together, press in at the bottom and stick the legs together so they look like that. And that is what we've made so far today, and they're going to be left now to dry, and once they're dry we can then add on the next stages. Thank you for watching. Bye.